But I got a question for all y'all. Q's first, Cartoon second, Stone third. Excuse me for putting you third. I should have made Cartoon third.
It's all good.
Oh, you're going by age.
Hey, I always kicked in. I'm like third. You know what I mean?
It went through my mind. I just didn't say nothing. It went through my
You know, when we had that mentality, I caught it quick. All the violence on the streets and in prison, you have all endured. Do any of you deal with PTSD like military soldiers?
Okay, I'm first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed sometimes, and if you notice it, you're in control of it. I noticed sometimes I could become real angry. It's like I grew up in a room full of lead paint. And I remember when I was a little kid, I would have these little fits of rage when I was real little and I didn't know why. And I would get real mean and I would be easily agitated. And the doctor told me later on, those were the effects of the lead paint. And he says, how do you deal with that today? And I said, well, I used to act out on it. I would blame it on someone outside of myself for giving me the feeling. And then I would, assault that person. And he said, yeah, you realize that's wrong, right? I said, yeah, I realize it's wrong, but sometimes people say fucked up shit to you, But he said, well, it's your perception of the event that causes you to be angry. It's not the event itself. I said, okay, that's fine. And Danny, let me process that. Let me come to grips with that. But yeah, man, post-traumatic stress syndrome, I don't take any medicine for it. I don't get any benefits from it. Fact of the matter is, if I would have admitted to it, to the psych when we were making our psych report, I'd probably still be locked up if I was forthcoming with some of my, disorders and shit. But I got it under control. I don't get high to suppress it. I'm not acting out violently. I have skill to be violent, but I don't use them. I'm just out here chilling, going to work, maintaining and keeping my seat out here in society, because this is the longest I've ever been free in my life. And, I've been locked up over half of my life. So.
All right, let's go. Cartoon, do you suffer any PTSD from gangbanging?
From gangbanging or jail?
Jail, prison, gangbanging.
No, you know what? I can't really say. Every now and then I still wash. My wife, she got to stop me from washing my drawers in the shower.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I still get in the shower with my shower shoes on.
Damn.
Yeah, she can't understand that one. And I still put toilet paper on the toilet seat, even though it's mine. I don't know. It just.
Do you spit in the sink? Hey, do you spit in the toilet when you brush your teeth?
Yeah, right there next to it. And
man, me too.
Yeah, I get on her about like having water around the sink. I'm like, man, you got to clean that up. You got to. She like, what? And like if I'm talking every now and then, I might say, man, I'm finna go to the cell. And she be like, baby, your room. I'll be like, yeah, my room.
Do you ever have a spoon in your pocket?
No. She tell me I still eat too fast at the restaurants, like somebody gonna take my food or something.
I took the spoon out the restaurant, dog. Made it all the way to my car.
Dang. Most of my mental trauma that I went through as far as jail goes was while I was in there. Because I can literally say, while I was in there, I didn't care nothing about coming home. Period. I didn't care if you know what I'm saying. I did an interview last night with PGN News, and I was telling them, like, when I left Pelican Bay, one of the homies, one of the rips got stuck by the Mahindas, by the Mexicans, and I was hot about that. That's I take that real offensive. But anyway, sometimes they'll wreck themselves, and I'm telling the homie, my celly Crip Carol from schoolyard, I'm like, cuz if they wreck these gates, we taking off. You know what I'm saying? We got some next door. And he was like, man, Toon, you going home in the morning? I'm like, cuz, no, man, I'm not home. My mentality was, I'm not home till I get there. If they did something to the rips and I'm on the yard, I'm taking off point blank. And my mind was like, dang, you got a chance to go home, go home. But I was like, man, bump home. I want to get them. So I had to get rid of that mentality.
Hey, Mumpy said you had PTSD before you even went to prison.
Mumpy ain't got good sense already. You know what I'm saying? He that come from falling on his head at Rosecrans skating ring too much.
All right,
Where's
Stone, what
Nam?
about you, man?
To be honest, bro, I really don't know. Because I probably do, because I've always been good at putting everything in compartments. I can't even say the word now.
Compartmentalizing.
Yeah, put whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm quite sure it affects us all, because now I do have dreams. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I remember I was having one of them gangbanging dreams. Even when I was a youngster, I had one, right? Because I was into so much stuff, to whereas my girl walked in the door, and all I heard the door open, and I was asleep on the couch. I used to have a shotgun under my bed. I'm under the couch. So I reached under the couch, it wasn't there, and I just drove her to the door. And she just started calling my name to just get me up out of that fog I was in. So I'm quite sure that I went through it. Have I healed from it? I don't know, because I still have those dreams right now where I'm in different hoods. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 62 years old. You know what I mean? I didn't do a lot of time, but when I did do time, I was serious about it. You know what I mean? I kept being burner all the, everything that we do in there. You know what I'm saying? And so to say that I do or don't have PSD, I probably do. And just brush it off. Like
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You just, long as we're aware of it and it's not controlling us and we control it, we're gonna be all right. But if you're not aware of it and then it's controlling you, then it's like you came home from the war and your mama says, don't go in the room with your uncle. Your uncle's crazy. The door's locked. He's tripping. That's when it controls you like that.
Yeah, but it's certain things that I guess you can say trauma. It's just certain things that we went through just out of survival instincts. If a car backfire, if a door opens,
right.
You know what I'm saying? A car come down the street, my head's still on a swivel. I don't trust nothing.
Hey, at the funeral, when them balloons first start busting, everybody was jumping and ducking and everything.
Man. I remember there was a time when I used to go to stores, you know what I mean? And people say, man, hey, what's up, homie? What's up, Stone? I know you, man. And I say, what, good or bad? You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen so many faces, been through so much stuff. It's just something that, in order to survive, I don't know. I guess that's just how we adapt. You know what I mean?
You know what, Kev? You tapped on something that I've never heard nobody. You might want to get deeper into that. I ain't never heard nobody, ever ask that question about, our gang experience. If you know what I'm saying, especially for those that I'm gonna say are, let's say between the ages of 55 and older. What type of mental state are we in right now today behind that? And I never thought about that. I've never even, what I'm saying, I took it as face value. You know what I'm saying? When you pull up, you might be driving and you don't want to go to that gas station because it's over here, or this store, or a car, like you say, car come down the street. You watching it like a hawk. You know what I'm saying? Or back when we was younger, a car would come down the street and you get behind a tree, and as it go this way, you go this way on the tree till it got back. You searching to see. You searching to see if the brake lights come on. All that, I never even looked at that, because to me it was just natural. It was a way of life. But now, you know what? Dang, I ain't never thought about that, homie. You might have hit on something. We might have, what I'm saying, long lasting, mental trauma behind what we went through coming up in that gang world, especially back then. Because this gang world today ain't nothing. But what it was back then, I could see it doing some type of mental damage to us. Never even thought about that.
Hey, dude, you probably just started another controversy, because these youngsters out here now, they hear you say that now.
Right.
You're right. Hey, I don't mean nothing to you youngsters. I take it back. Y'all, wear your skinny jeans and your backpacks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Hey, I mean, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Who gives a fuck? But look, to me, a lot of them is like the emotional kids. You know what I mean? Emojis. Because I mean, like even back then, man, we put some thought. Even if you was going to put in some work, you gave some thought to it, and you might have gave certain people passes in certain situations, right? Or you may not. You know, me personally, I gave a few passes. I'm not gonna down you with your kid or none of that kind of shit. But
Right.
knock your noodles out, bro, over the slightest little thing. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I see. I hope I'm seeing something that's just not there. Maybe I'm putting too much on it, but I just like, man, they so sensitive they can't take an ass whooping no more. You know what I'm saying? None of that. So I don't know. I just hope that they can see that their future is a lot brighter. You know what I'm saying? They don't have as much to prove because, you know, they don't have to walk from one side of town to the other or go to this park. I mean, it's a lot. They got a lot of opportunities, man, to do the right thing. You know, if they learn. You know what I mean? That's the strongest word in the vocabulary. That's a word we didn't say too much. It was like, let's go.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Man, because I never thought about that PSD situation.
Me neither, homie.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, Stone, you still looking behind cars and shit when you come out the bar or the club?
Man, I always do. That's something ain't gonna never change. You know, I was one of them cats that walked around the corner with his pistol in his hand. I ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't trust no driveways or none of that because it's just that experience that we live when you had them cats jumping out of bushes on us. You know what I'm saying? Hide, like, you know, on them little short blocks, you had them garages that's dented in, and all you can see is the fence, and then the garage sit back. They used to be from my experience, made me like that. You know what I mean? Right. You know, just like anybody else, man. Everybody heard the butterflies fly by their head. Them old bullets sounded like butterflies. You know what I'm saying? So if you wasn't aware back then, I mean, you know, you gotta survive, bro. You got it's not being scared or nothing like that. You know, everybody scared, but you're just not fearful. You know what I'm saying? You don't fear being scared. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not scared, you're a damn fool.
Right.
Like being fearful, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but you better have sense enough to expect the unexpected and, you know, and all that. You know what I mean? Don't never, like they say back in the day, don't never underestimate nothing that might come your way, man. And just try to be the best person that you can be. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. You know?
Cartoon, you know Mump and your sister-in-law about to get on you.
Why?
Hey, what is that? What kind of cat you got?
It's just a lovable cat. That's all I know. I love her.
Man, I had a cat in the joint, dog.
Man,
hey, this might sound racist, but when I was in the feds in 79, 80, they had cats at Terminal Islands. When the agents got there, and I know that I ain't trying to be racist or nothing. The cats, I'll tell you that.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I was in Chino. Look, I was in Chino and it was a white dude on the tier named Cat Man. And he had a cat. And I wanted this cat. I used to mess with the cat, and he was like, hey man, give me my cat back. Give me my cat back. And I'd mess with it and just do all type of stuff to the cat. And he'd tell me quit. I guess he got sick of me. Man, you know that, man. I look up one day and he didn't get me good because I kind of said one of the homies like, cuz, look out. And I looked and he had the key. He had the knife and he caught me across the chest with it. But I stepped back and we went from there with the situation. But it was all about me messing with his cat.
This is Los Angeles.